about how you heard the news this morning.
Well, one of the media called me a little before 9, about 9:15, and said there'd been a rumor that Andy had died. And I said, well, I hope it's a rumor. I can't, could I verify? I said, no, I don't know anything. I hope it's not true. I don't want it to be true. But later, I got notification from Tanya Jones, who's head of the Arts Council here, that Cindy had released the information, and so therefore it was official. So then she told me if I could come and speak to some of the media, she thought I should, if I could manage to do it. So it was up to me, she said. But I wasn't sure I could, because it's really been hard. Because I really cared a lot about Andy, and it wasn't like just somebody you'd worked with that you did a show or two and that was it. You know, I really felt close to him, and I've kept in touch when I could with him, and Cindy's been wonderful. She's a great wife to that man. It's a real love story, the two of them. And she did everything she could to protect him at all times, take care of him. She's been really great. You know, he was so proud of her. He'd call her his beautiful blonde wife. He'd say, my beautiful blonde wife. And she is, too. She's a beautiful girl. Anyway, it's going to be hard on her. So I hope people will be considerate of her. She deserves that.
And when you worked with him on set, it wasn't just a co-worker relationship, it was more...
We were friends, yeah.
Explain
we were.
That to us, just how you guys were in the atmosphere.
Yeah. Well, just the atmosphere. I couldn't wait. If they called me, see, I wasn't on contract to them, but if they called for me to possibly do a show, I couldn't wait to go. I just loved being on it, loved reading the script when we all read it on the first day, you know, and you'd laugh and everything, but after that, it was serious work. We did not play. There will be no bloopers from the Andy Griffith. We were all perfect. If we weren't, we wouldn't have lasted a minute. Hi out there. We have a lot of fans in here today. Oh, well, anyway, being with him was a great experience for me because he was so warm and he was fun to be with. He, in between shots and things, he'd tease me a bit. He was cute, really cute. So, and Don was great, and the two of them worked just hand in hand. If ever there was a team, they were it. And I hated to see that break up, because that rarely happens, you know. But Don had a chance to be in the movies, and I don't blame him. I know I was on a Broadway show, a small part on it, but people said, well, you're just now being noticed here. You ought to stay here, because I was offered a chance to come to Hollywood, and they wanted to test me, but I wanted to be in the movies if I could. I was glad to go. So I could understand how he felt that an opportunity, and he did some wonderful movies. And of course, Andy did a lot of movies. But the one you've got to watch for is Face in the Crowd. He is magnificent in that. You won't know it's the same man. He is so good. If you haven't seen it, see it. I think it'll be on the air sometime this week. So try and check on it because it's worth seeing. Yeah, Elia Kazan directed it, and Andy will surprise you. He should have gotten an Academy Award for that performance.
Yeah. A lot of fans have said that the thing they love so much about Mayberry and the Andy Griffith Show was the simplicity of that time.
Yeah.
What does that mean for you, and especially looking on the reality TV and things of that we have today?
Well, there's a big difference between what they have today and what we presented as the Mayberry days. Andy drew so much from his hometown. Now that I'm living here, I see it more and more, that not only names of people, but locations, and the feeling between people. There was a kindness you don't find all the time. I mean, now and then, something terrible happens in a town, people rise up for a little while, and they're all wonderful and good, but in between, maybe not so great, you know. And no, it's important that we have this. I'm praying it'll always stay on, that nobody will take it off, because children need something clean they can watch. And also, there's a moral that isn't being thrown at you like constantly. It's done in such a natural way. And I think it's terribly important that young people have something like that to look at and help shape their life. And it can do that. I met young men that would say to me, you know, I didn't have a good relationship with my own father, but I'd watch that show, and it meant so much to see the relationship Andy had with Opie, that he said, they all said, we kept wishing we had a daddy like that. Well, of course, their own father maybe had responsibilities that were rough and hard and difficult. He couldn't be Andy Griffith on the show all the time, you know. But nevertheless, it meant a lot to those boys to see that relationship, even if they didn't have one like that. So maybe they would grow up and have children and try to emulate that. I mean, to be like Andy was with Opie. Possible, yeah. So anyway, there's so much about the show that I love, and I watch it all the time. I watch it 10 o'clock in the morning. I watch it 5:30 in the evening. I watch it every chance I get. I saw some today I never knew were on. I thought, boy, I'm going to have to start watching some of that too. So I just really, I love it. And I laugh. It makes me happy to watch. We need something to make us happy. We don't have a lot, you know, out there. We've had a lot of sadness and a lot of things happen and difficulties right now, people out of work. And that's one thing that brought something to save Mount Airy was the tourism. And that they can thank Andy Griffith for, because they had factories here that disappeared and people out of work, and at least there is something happening here. Keeps the place alive, and that's important to a town. So, and I'm very grateful I'm here. People have been so good to me. I don't deserve all the love I get, but it's all because of the show. It isn't me. It's because of that show. But I'm enjoying all the love they give me anyway. All the fans that come. I'm very grateful, really grateful, and I can thank Andy Griffith for that. You bet.
Well, Miss Betty, how will you remember Andy the most?
Oh, well, he could be devilish and tease me, and he could be sweet and warm. And I really felt a great empathy from Andy, yeah. Even though he could do all those things and act like kind of this way, but he really had a lot of heart. And I knew that. I could tell that. So I'll miss him. Even though I don't get to see him, I didn't anyway. I kept hoping sometime I would, but it just wasn't meant to be, I guess. Last time I saw him was the memorial for Don in LA, you know, so. And I got a lovely message on the phone from Cindy saying that she and Andy thought I did such a great job. They wanted to thank me and told me how much they both loved me. And I mean, you know, that's wonderful. And when I spoke with him last was his birthday. It was his 86th, June 1st. And he told me he loved me, and I told him I loved him, and I hoped that he'd have another wonderful year ahead and everything. So at least I got a chance to talk to him not that long ago, you know.
What do you think people will remember most, or what will you remember most about Andy?
Well, I don't know. I think I've said about everything I can. That I'm just lucky I had a chance to know him and to work with him. I'm very lucky, and I'm grateful for that. Anyway, he's probably up there looking at all of us and wondering what the world I'm doing down here, talking about him and carrying on in front of a camera. I know. Oh, dear. I was a very fortunate woman. So that's about all I can tell you, I think.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome, all of you. Thank you.
Appreciate it.